Yeah, so I think I was feeling quite punchy when I wrote the title of this of this presentation, Building the Ideal Insight Team. I can't pretend I've got the absolute answer, but I'll give you some prompts and thoughts, and hopefully a little bit about our journey as a Just Eat Takeaway Insight team. And I think I'll build on actually what you've heard this morning. I was a bit worried that I was just going to replicate exactly what the other guys were saying, but from a client side, it's really important to understand where we're coming from, where we're going to. And we've done a lot of evaluation over the last year about what our vision is, so I'll be sharing some of that with you. So it's going to be our journey from the ground up, the scope and structure, integrating the teams horizontally, a lot about people, and then the vision of the strategy and future journey. I'm gutted that I don't have a picture of our founder in grey flares, but what I do have is a picture of food, because the Just Eat Takeaway vision is to empower every food moment. And for us, it's really about the food, because the food is the joy. And I don't know if you've got kids, when the doorbell rings, when the pizza comes, there is a great state of excitement. And that's what we love to deal in. And so we have to remember that we might get involved with, the minutiae of CX and, KPIs and all of those sort of things. But we do remember as a company that our vision is about food and joy. And I mentioned that we'd come on a bit of a journey. This is a slide from our H1 profits presentation from the founder himself. Actually, it's a look back at the success of the company. So Just Eat and Takeaway.com merged a couple of years ago. Just Eat was in 10 markets, leading in many. It's well known in the UK. Takeaway.com was a Dutch company led by the founder Jitse Groen, and was really big in Eastern Europe, Germany, and of course the Netherlands, where it's based. So it felt like a marriage and a merger of equals. It's not been without its troubles, but we are here today. And what I think it gave us was an opportunity to build from the ground up again. So I've been at Just Eat Takeaway for 6 years, and over the last couple of years, you kind of just go into a little bit of a box sometimes, and you get thrown these kind of questions. You become the survey team, and actually you stop doing the thing that actually is the most important, which is being the voice of your customers truly. So actually, this merger was an opportunity to go, what are we? Who are we? How do we define ourselves? And how do we organise ourselves? And one of the things that we realised was actually we're getting really involved with the minutiae of our specific little niche, which is the takeaway moment. And we had these segmentations which were great. We loved them. They were very actionable, but they were hugely detailed. But actually, what we wanted to do was to give people the context, because actually, without the context, they don't understand our place in the world, and they can't start expanding and thinking about the brand in a much more holistic way in order to really be there for every single food moment. And that merger, I mentioned the ground up planning. We had I mentioned being boxed in a little bit. We'd started to become quite siloed into specific verticals. and we wanted to break out of that. And so actually when we reorganized, we decided to use technical competencies as the way that we organize ourselves within the insights team. So we built three teams: qualitative research and analytics. And one of the things I'd say about insight client-side teams is it is very much about the people, but it's a real ragbag of different people types. Your qualitative researcher is extremely different from an analytics professional, and so as we built these teams, we wanted to give them their own vision and own idea of what they were, but actually we felt that the mixing between those teams helped that kind of network effect and the improvement in some of the skills. For example, an analytics person sometimes is a bit less good with some of the softer skills. The qualitative team sometimes a bit less good with some of the hard impact measurements. So actually we felt like that mixing of the teams and making sure there was a real cross-fertilization with them was really, really important. And we've heard a little bit about impact. You mentioned impact in your question. Does anyone? I wonder whether anyone or everyone knows this chart on the right-hand side. It's one of my favourites. It's actually inspiration from the great marketers Binet and Field, which is about short-term and long-term planning. We took inspiration from this brand versus performance chart to think about insights, actually, because what we realized was that the impact that an insights team has isn't always one-dimensional. There are KPIs that you can measure, and we've talked about KPIs before, but they're often quite tactical. So the things like campaign evaluation, that you can measure those, but there is softer things, and they're equally as important, that are long-term nudges that you might give to a senior stakeholder, an idea that you give to them. And we felt that it was important, even if we can't necessarily measure some of those long-term impacts, that we at least articulate them to the organisation, because we felt they were as important as some of the shorter-term or measurable things. And when we came together, we were inspired by some of the work that we did as part of the merger. This is a great little graphic of our marketing team, and it shows a kind of village or a town of marketers all doing their own little different things, and we made sure we were in there. I can't quite place us. There's somewhere in there. But also, the thing that they were using to try and describe this town and this interconnection that we had as a marketing team was the connection effect. Now, the connection effect is, again, quite difficult to measure, but it is the magic that happens when you sit next to someone and have a conversation with them for the first time and realize that you've got some commonalities and things that you can talk about, and we realised we had that with the insights team as well, and the connective tissue that we had was the insights often about our customers and our restaurants. So we created a vision for that insights team around the thing that we were doing as part of the merger, which was this connection effect. So we said we were going to create the connection effect in data to provide those actionable insights for Just Eat Takeaway. So really important to have that articulated, because in practice we are part of a smallish team and we can't do everything, but we felt it was really important to be empowered enough to be able to talk about the insights to the whole of the organisation. So I've put us in the centre. I don't think any other, every team always puts themselves in the centre. But actually, one of the things that we said as part of this vision was that we should be empowered, even if we're only part of a brand team or a small part of a very big wheel, to create insights for all. And actually, that was really, really important. Actually, in defining our purpose and our vision. And we've heard a lot about not being able to do it all. There is a thing around democratization. Excuse me. So, Alicia was talking about not liking some questions where the question is just a number or a KPI, and I think I completely really hear that. We do create those dashboards, but we give the ability to both pick a number, but also to query it as well. So we have a very simple data analysis platform, which we call the Hub. We do a lot of training on it, and we empower those marketers to be able to pull and to some extent slice and dice the numbers so that they can get the insights themselves. But the thing that we really try and do when it comes to what the team actually does, being freed from the curse of dashboard creation, is to do what we call connected reviews. So these are unashamedly story-led. They're a consolidated view across all of our data sources. And they are set-piece presentations, either a thematic, a country, or a global view around what the market picture is. And we take the marketing leadership team and beyond through that, and then we cascade it through the rest of the organization. And the idea is to not be beholden to a single data source, to actually tell a story, to triangulate across those different data sources in order to work and tell a full picture. So it's about making sense, I suppose, through those data sources. And I know there were agencies here, so it's really important to say that as a smallish team, we are dependent on those providers, and we have some providers mentioned there to help us craft this story. So we see our partners as an extension of our own team, and we get them involved in those connected review presentations, and they are often part of that squad that creates the connected review, because they know the data the best. So really, really important to mention there is no insourcing. It's about partnerships. And then the broader impact stuff. One of the things that we absolutely love as an organisation, especially senior teams seem to love it as well, is our customer closeness program. We have moved online with that. We used to go on little train journeys up to the north of England or into other parts of the country or the continent. Now we do it all as a video interview with our customers. We have an external partner who finds the household. We make sure they're regular takeaway buyers, and we make sure we film them as well. We chat for an hour, and then we share back to the organisation. And often the people that are doing the interviewing, the marketers and the senior leadership team, are really enthusiastic about what they've learnt there. So it's a really, really good way of just having a feeling for your customers.
Live, I'm recording now.
So just to first introduce yourself, so I'm Dan from Birmingham.
So my name's Jeremy.
Hi, bonjour, good morning. I'm Emily.
I'm Kerry. Nice to meet you.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Nice to meet you.
Really looking forward to this chat.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet reporter. This is my first one.
Interested to kind of, find out more about you.
Try to cook pretty healthy, predominantly chicken. John, on the other hand, likes to live on burgers and chips.
I'm usually lying next to my little daughter while she's nodding off and messing around and stuff. And then when she's starting to nod off, I can tell when her breathing changes. It becomes much more plateaued out, and that's actually when I get my phone out and look back. So I mean,
See, I never delete apps.
Oh,
See, so that's why it's still on my phone. Everything.
why Subway?
It's literally up the road, and my boss likes it.
It's just not my thing. I don't feel safe just putting my credit card on the phone or something like that.
And I always recommend any site that I consult, etc. I always say, get Just Eat because of this rebate, or go with Stats. If you're on Just Eat, shop at Booker's.
I think they've changed the menu thing now, but where they completely mess the menu up while giving away food.
No, everything on the menu had the option for bread and chicken and aubergine. Everything.
Including desserts and sundaes.
Everything.
So you think it's getting cold on the back of the bike?
Unless they've got some new magical device, which they have, they ought to sell it because they make a fortune. That's what they say.
What's it?
Just
Yeah, that's quite good.
No. Yeah, 39, yeah. Every burger joint gives you portion of chips with your meal. But we thought, no, we've seen tater tots.
There you go. Oh.
Is that even a pizza? That it looks like a curry, but I think it's because the screen isn't very big.
We hate the supermarket. It takes up our whole Sunday. We just hate it. I enjoy going to Tesco. I am that person. I like doing a food shop.
How do you feel in general about using Facebook to log into stuff?
I mean, it's only a Mark Zuckerberg business while I'm having from tea.
Just in case.
Oh, yes, of course, it's on my email. We're just being overly cautious here.
Absolutely lovely the first time. I mean, really nice. The second time was
I think I've given it the art and money.
Thanks very much, guys. Enjoy your dinner.
Bon appetit.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm kind of maybe one of
So there you go. There's our customers, warts and all. And you can really see how some of the insights there far more powerful than a KPI. And actually, those are the talking points that you get back in meetings again and again. And really, really important, but really difficult to quantify, I think, in some way. So actually, the way that we do quantify our customer closeness program is about volume. So just the number of people that we interview. Just last thing, and you can see it from that film there. To talk about is storytelling, because I mentioned the connected reviews. I don't think that all analysts are great storytellers. Some are, but so we have to do a lot of training for our teams to give them the tools to be able to explain a point of view or an insight. And we have a knowledge management system, the Hub, which we use to upload that, and we are regularly revisiting training with them with journalists to improve story making. The connected reviews themselves, whilst we have nice pictures and nice slides in there, we actually make a great deal of play around having a story with them at the start point. So the way that we start all of our presentations is with a long ream of text, actually, and we read that out because we feel that actually telling a story at the start of a presentation is a way of actually engaging with our stakeholders. And then the last thing, so I mentioned the flex that our Insight team members have had to make. actually, one of the things that we are really proud of is the development that the team has made, actually. And we think the concept of T-shaped insight professionals is really, really nice here. So having deep technical knowledge, we make sure that we train and give the insight team the tools that they need to become great market researchers or analysts. But actually, it's about developing all of those soft skills on top of it as well, and that means learning about marketing, learns about decision making and the way to influence and the such like as well. So it's about ultimately culture ahead of tools for us. Thank you.